The play I've decided to talk about today is The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. The major conflicts of the play are Ernest and his fictional brother that he's created to get out of his responsibilities with Cecily in the country, and then conversely, he's Ernest in the city and can use Jack himself as an excuse to escape to the country as well. And then Algernon is has created his invalid friend Bunbury to go Bunburying around, aka getting out of all of his social responsibility to do whatever he wants and avoid Lady Bracknell, basically. And they are both Bunburyists, as it comes to be called, which is now in the dictionary, which is pretty fun. And the other main conflicts is the romance of it all, Algernon, Cecily, and Ernest, and Gwendolen. And this is the main plot where Lady Bracknell refuses to let Gwendolen marry Ernest until he is able to present his parents, because he was found in a bag and does not have parents and was adopted. And so all of his status doesn't matter. All of his wealth doesn't matter because he doesn't have parents. And the parts of the plot that seemed unnecessary also turned out to be necessary. Like in the beginning, when Algernon's talking to Lane about the cucumber sandwiches that he had specifically made for Lady Bracknell, and he ends up eating them all, which is necessary to the plot to show that Lady Bracknell has authority and that Algernon will use other people as an excuse, including making up his invalid friend. And parts that were necessary, I think, was everything. Because they were very intentional in how they structured everything out. Every little piece that seemed unimportant ended up playing into a joke later on, just like the cucumber sandwiches. And the most necessary, like the absolute top of the necessary parts, were the Bunburying and the romance. The main character in the play is Ernest, spelled Ernest for the joke. And his goal in the play is to get with Gwendolen, and his obstacle is Lady Bracknell. She is his antagonist, even though she's not really a bad person, per se. She's just high status and controlling. And this obstacle is based on him not having parents, like I mentioned previously in the plot portion. And the characters in the play are all realistic to a fault because they're people. There's love interest, there's conflict, like people have, but it's all exaggerated for the satirical effect on them, and it has to draw out the symbolism, so they're symbolic as well, in how everything is hypocritical in this society. The theme or the meaning of the play is it's a call out to the hypocrisy of high society in regards to how they view marriage, how it's more about status and wealth rather than love and being genuine. And this relates to modern society because we're still stuck in our superficiality and how looks and values and not moral standing are more important to people. Being nice doesn't matter if you're good looking. And I agree with the critique of the play because it's a fallacy and it's harmful that anything other than moral standing should be placed in such high regard. The caring heart and the thoughtful mind is more important than some handsome face or a shaped physique. And the same way that riches and wealth don't really matter in the game of love or just life in general, being kind is not only for the rich. Having a good life is not only for the rich. The line that stuck with me the most was when Algernon funnily enough, he says, "Divorces are made in heaven." And I thought that was a funny play on a common saying that like matches are made in heaven, and it does a good job at highlighting the upper class's disposal of how important love and caring is. The name of the play itself is a pun on how being earnest is not really as important to high society in Victorian times as being rich and having status. And the dialogue shows relationships and how the servants remain subservient. The upper class stays rich and comfortable and are only inconvenienced by the social aspect of it all and having obligations to go to dinner or go to a play that everyone's going to. And there is, in the dialogue, there's love between Gwendolyn and Ernest, but it's all thrown away by Lady Bracknell needing to know his status by needing to know his parents. And when she said what she says goes, unless you can prove your wealth and your status. So she is controlling in how she talks. Gwendolyn has no say because, as a young lady in that time, that is also common, and that's given in the dialogue. Like when in the carriage, Gwendolyn, and she goes, "But Mama," and she's like, "In the carriage," and has to say it multiple times, but Gwendolyn still goes. She has no say in whether or not she marries the man that she wants to marry, because Lady Bracknell has all the say. The design choice that stood out to me were the outfits of Cecily and Gwendolyn and how they contrast the different lifestyles that they live, country versus city. The higher class city living Gwendolyn is colored in purple, which is typically a richer person color, especially in that time. And then she's corseted, which shows the rigid standards that she's held to living in the city. And Cecily, she's more flowy and lighter and less pushed in because it shows the slow-paced life that you can live in the country and how she's less imposed upon by these social standards because she's in the country and not in the city. And there was also the set design that I enjoyed because they took pieces of furniture that looked Victorian and made everything look Victorian. I'd like to see like how a modern retelling would look and throw away all of that, but I think it helped to put you in that era, in the Victorian era where everything was so regal and formatted. Like chairs now are just so plain, but they had like ornate design to them. Even stuff as simple as like a sofa. And finally, the overall style of the play was realism. Even if it's satirized and it's super dramatized, it's still based on real life. It depicts everyday life, even if it's just for rich people in the Victorian era, and it's overplayed. It's to establish the moral principle and teach a lesson to the viewers, which is typically what realism does. It depicts common things, which obviously for us it's not common anymore, but that's what realism does. I think overall the setting of the play, the themes, and everything work together very well. And like the article that I found that discusses the morality part of it near the end, it says that in Victorian society, morality was regarded as the strict body of rules and regulations about what people are supposed to do and what is not. So it's more about what is socially okay and what is socially not okay rather than what is right. Like, obviously, people should be nice and people should love, but in this era, in this society, the high society that it depicts, it was more important to be rich, which is upsetting, but it makes sense.